Good afternoon. Welcome to part 3 of this declutter series. Today we're going to be working on blushes, individual blushes, and little blush palettes here. I'm going to have to do this in 2 chunks though. Like we'll go through this batch and then I'll bring the rest up. We have a lot of blush to work with. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, we'll just get started on the top here with this little Too Faced Love Flush blush. I'm keeping this one. I wore this on Easter actually. The little bunnies are just too cute in this, so definitely keeping that. This Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder is what it is called, but it's definitely not a bronzing powder. It's very, very pink, like a shimmery pink. Really nice as a blush. I really, really like this one. Definitely keeping that. Also keeping my Cherry Coke. It's absolutely beautiful. So nice. Keeping that. I'm definitely keeping my Jouer blush palette. Now, this isn't the palette I would have chosen if I had, gotten this off the website or something, but I did get this from TJ Maxx. This is in the Blush Duo Passion. So I love the shade over here, and the orange one's okay. I kind of use it as a blush topper, but I definitely love the matte shade over here. So pretty. Keeping that. I love blush. It's kind of like my eyeliner collection where I just can't seem to cut a lot of things. I like a lot of variety. I like a lot of choices in my blush. So I'm trying to get rid of the things I don't want, but I do want a lot of them. Okay, my NARS palette. Let's get rid of some of these reflective ones. My NARS palette I'm keeping. It's very, very pretty. It has a little highlight over here and everything. I really enjoy this one. It's a very neutral blush palette. It's kind of nice sometimes. This is the Milani blush palette in Floral Fantasy. Very nice peachy tones. Definitely keeping this. As well as all the flower blushes. I've had these 3 for a while, but I like them. They're very, very matte. I feel like these are like dry blushes. It actually makes my skin feel like dry, so I prefer to use them in the summertime actually. So keeping those. This one's my newest Milani, what are they called? Rose Powder Blush. And it has the new packaging, like the new lettering. Keeping that. Now this little Milani blush is the old packaging. It has the flip up with the brush underneath. And I just recently picked this up again, and I'm going to keep it. I've only used it a time or 2, but it may go eventually because it is more like a highlighter. It's kind of interesting, so we'll see. I've been having fun playing with this though. It's kind of like a throwback, but a brand new one, so it's kind of nice. My Burt's Bees blushes, I'm definitely keeping. These are actually really, really pretty and very earthy toned. Like they're not a really rosy pinky blush, and I think in this summer these are going to be absolutely perfect for a lot of the looks. So I'm excited to use these some more. And I have the shades Toasted Cinnamon and Bare Peach. Let's go to this guy here. This is the Blush Protege in Miami Pink. It's a Clarins blush. And I'm going to keep this. It feels fancy. It even has like a little velvet bag it comes in. And this just makes me think like old school, like my grandma's makeup with like the brush over here and everything like that. But it's a very nice blush. And it is actually like a bright pink color. And I don't know, this just makes me think like vintagey makeup, so I like this one. Okay, I have a couple of different Bare Minerals blushes. I have the Bounce and Blur in Blurred Buff. I have the Gin Nude in Peachy Keen, the powder blush. And I have a loose blush in Luminary. I am keeping all 3 of these. All of the formulas are really nice. This is the only loose blush I have. And it's actually easier to work with. I think because it's Bare Minerals, they have the nice little sifter. It keeps it kind of under control as you're trying to use it. This one is almost that like bouncy kind of texture, like when you touch it. So I like that one. And this is a very neutral one as well. It reminds me of the Toasted Cinnamon shade. And the Bare Minerals in the Peachy. This is a very peachy blush, but very nice formulas all around for Bare Minerals. Keeping all of those. Not doing well getting rid of anything in this pile here. So Let's see. I guess we'll leave the palettes. We'll do those in a second. We'll deal with the rest of these single blushes first. These blushes from Mally, I have deeper and lighter. They both look like this. They're kind of a mosaic pattern almost. I don't even know if I've used this one. I know I've used this once or twice. They're really, really pigmented. I didn't expect them to be. I don't know why. I thought they would just be kind of meh, but they are super pigmented. So I definitely want to use these in the next couple of months. But I do feel like these are something I might declutter later if I don't. The tones are kind of weird to be all mixed together, so we'll see. Those I'm still kind of playing with. My ABH blushes, I'll flip them over so you can see the colors. I am going to keep all of these. These were one of my first like high-end TJ Maxx purchases. I had found them one at a time and I was like collecting them, and it just makes me think of that, and like the packaging is so beautiful. The blush inside is fine. It's good. But I am going to keep all of these. Like, I kind of want to use them again. The peach one's definitely my favorite. Like just mixing them all together. Keeping all of those. Okay. Now, these blushes here. I keep these every time I do a declutter. But I never actually wear them. They're the, I don't know, the ones with the hummingbird collection with the birds on it. But they're just gorgeous. And they're all broken, of course, because it's Wet n Wild. All the packaging is broken. From just being in the drawer. And there's a peachier one. This one I love. But I don't use them. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm ready to get rid of these yet. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I feel like I would want them as soon as I got rid of them. So I'm going to keep these for one more round. We'll see. I'm a fool, I know. We have a couple more of these. Another Milani in Berry Rays, the Color Harmony blush. This one could probably go. I probably would not miss this one. I used to wear it all the time. You kind of swirl it. It has like the highlighter and then the other colors. Very lightly pigmented though. I'll put this in the maybe pile because I do like it, but I don't reach for it over other things. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll set this over to the side. This Lorac blush is so pigmented and so pretty. It's like this purpley color almost. I don't love the formula of this, but I do really like the color. I feel like it's kind of different than other things that I have. Kind of that purple, almost purpley pink. So for that reason, I think I'm going to keep this. My Profusion blush palettes, I am going to keep these. I feel like pretty soon I'm going to do like a Profusion video. I've gotten their new liquid blushes and I have a contour palette and eyeshadows and things from them. So I feel like I'm wanting to use some Profusion things pretty soon. So I am going to keep these actually. This is very new to me, the Bad and Bougie. I've only used this one time and I used these two shades. So I'm definitely keeping this. This is a BH palette. This is a palette that I am going to keep for now. The Vanilla Strawberry. Kind of smells like strawberries. Like a strawberry shortcake doll or something. You know, I think I'm going to put this in the maybes. It's new and I don't want to get rid of it for that reason, but they're almost like chalky feeling. They're almost like too thick of a formula. So I don't know. I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. This is not my favorite. These two are from IBY, the Cheek to Cheek palettes. I got these because they are adorable. Like this looks and feels like leathery. And then it opens up like that. It has a mirror on either side. But it looks like quilted. There's like a peachier one and a pinky one. And they are super pigmented. You have to be very careful. Yes, I bought these for the packaging. Absolutely. So I am going to keep these, also pretty new, but they're just so, so, so cute. Keeping those. These are two palettes that I wanted to love. I thought these were going to be amazing. They're Zueva palettes and I had really high expectations. Let me open this one. And this is just a pink blush palette with a white highlighter. And then this one is like a berry, a peach, and like a champagne. I think my problem with these, it's just that. The choices of colors, they're just kind of eh. The highlights in both are a little bit chunky and not reflective. Like the other ones right here. but it's like not even shiny. I keep keeping these because they're adorable and they're Zueva and they have such pretty packaging. I think I'm going to put these in the maybe. I know I'm not committing to getting rid of any of these yet, but I just love my blush palettes. But like I said, I'm going to see what else we pull out and we may get rid of these. So these are going to the maybe pile. The Cara Beauty Lighting Hour blush and highlight palette. Very, very pigmented. I've only used this probably once, so I'm definitely keeping this. And I will say about the Cara Beauty palettes too, they also feel like pretty weighted. They usually feel pretty heavy, so they're nice. Definitely keeping both of these, my Saharan blush palettes, 1 and 2. There's 1 and 2. I have to be so careful with this one. Like, so careful with this one, but they came in like a set, so. Absolutely beautiful. Keeping both of these. Let's pull up the next round of blush. Okay, round 2 here. Lots more blushes. I kind of forget how many I have because I don't keep them all in the same place. I keep some, you know, in storage drawers over there. I keep some more at my desk. And seeing them all together always looks like so much. Like it is surrounding me right now. Like I'm surrounded by blush. We're going to start here at the top with the pH Matchmaker from Physicians Formula. I've had this for a long time. It's fine. It's very, very basic. The packaging is Physicians Formula. It's huge. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I really liked this when I first had it, and it's very good, but I just have other things I'm using. So that's going to go. The Essence Satin Touch Blush. Again, very nice, but that same kind of packaging. At any moment, it's just going to fall apart. Now see, I don't love this. Like for me, I'm not like, oh, this is the best blush ever, but I've heard people talk it up. So then I'm like, well, I need to love it, right? Does anybody else do that? So we'll put this in the maybe pile. I feel like at the end of all this, the maybe pile is probably all going to go. So I'm putting them next to the go pile. We are going to get rid of the Infallible Paints palette. I used it a lot when I first got it. You know, it was like so exciting, an orange blush, but yeah, that's going to go. So are these BH Classic Blush and Nude Blush palettes. They're so pretty. Just broke my nail off. We'll glue that back on in a second. Here they are. Open the other one up. Again, that same kind of thing where when I got this, I used it every single day. But I'm kind of over it. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that one of my nieces would really like. You know, that huge array of things you can just go from color to color. So we'll put those with the things that are leaving. Okay, one that I see here is my Milani Rose Powder Blush in Romantic Rose. I repressed this when I repressed that entire eyeshadow palette the other day. And I want to finish this up. It doesn't feel like I'm getting much product out, but we'll see. I do want to finish this. It is a very thin layer, so we're keeping this for sure. Trying to use this up. Trying so hard. These Juvia's Place blushes. I have the Bella blush, which was the red one I had 2 of. The Serafina, where my mirror is falling out. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm keeping both of these blushes. Just set those back down. I have 2 from Believe Beauty. I picked these up at Dollar Tree. It is a Dollar General brand, and these are really nice. I think I know I've used this one. I might have used this one. The bronzers in this formula, absolutely amazing. Very, very, very nice. Very smooth powders. So keeping both of those. All of my baked Milani blushes, I'm definitely keeping. These are all fairly new. I love this one. That is in Cherry on Top. I have Sunset Passion. Also a beautiful shade. And Coralina. It's a little bit brighter. Keeping all of those And those also remind me of these Laura Geller blushes. So I'm not going to open all of these, but I am keeping all of these. I have Berry Trifle, Pink Grapefruit, Peach Delight, Cassis Violet, Apricot Berry. This is my oldest one. And this reminds me of this cherry one. Like a lot. Very similar. And I've really been into this kind of glowy, kind of, I don't know, just darker, brighter blush. So keeping this stack of Laura Geller blushes. These are all the Baked Blush and Brighten. This is actually a matte one, the Soft Matte Baked Blush Romantic Rose. A really, really pretty formula on this as well. This reminds me of that Sunset Passion one, actually. So keeping all of these. Very excited to use those. So seeing all of those, it's actually kind of giving me the desire to get rid of some of this other stuff. So we're going to go over to these Milani blushes. And I'm actually going to get rid of both of these. They're not called blush. It is an illuminating face powder. And it tells you to use it as a highlighter, as a bronzer, as a blush. They're just really not pigmented. These are both going to go. So pretty. I've kept these forever because they're so cute and I've tried to use them and just nothing shows up on my face. So those are going. I'm keeping this little Marc Jacobs eyeshadow. I use it as a blush, usually mixed with this little Rock blush in this purpley shade. I like to mix these together. This is very, very lightly pigmented and very light colored. This is a bright purple eyeshadow. So I like to mix those together. That works for me. And I'm also keeping the rest. The magnets are sticking together. I'm also keeping the rest of the Lorac blushes I have. These are just nice matte. Well, these two are just nice matte blushes. Really good. Okay, this Urban Decay in Fetish. I'm definitely keeping. I love the packaging of this. Like this is I think this is the nicest packaging on a blush that I have. But it's just kind of a nice matte blush. Really enjoy that. Keeping all of my Flower Beauty blushes. I actually want to get the other two. I looked online the other day and they are out. I want to try the bronzer. I have the Sun Swept. I have the medium one. I want the light one. I don't know what colors they are. And I also wanted the other two blushes and they were totally sold out of those and they had all these. But I've had these for a while. I really like them. Very pretty. These three are matte. This one is not. Keeping all of those. My Clinique blush in Honey Pop, Pink Honey Pop. Also a very lightly pigmented blush. This reminds me of the Too Faced watercolor blush. It's very light, but it's nice. All right, let's bring in some of these. I'm keeping these two for sure. I'm finding that apparently I love marbled blush. These are very old. They don't sell these anymore. I've used up a full one of these. And this was the backup I had, and I now have it in. I use it. So definitely keeping these. Also remind me of the Laura Geller blushes. This Catrice one I keep keeping. And then I never use it. It doesn't actually close right. It's, I don't know. I don't use this, like, ever. So this is going in the maybe pile. Yeah, that's going in the maybe pile. I don't have strong feelings about it either way. I just don't like the packaging. This Kevyn Aucoin blush. I haven't used this a lot lately. It kind of goes from like this peach into purple, and I feel like it reminds me of the tones in this one. The peach mixed with purple, or the like rosy pinky purple. So I kind of want to keep this and give it another shot because I've not used this in a while. So I do want to keep this and give that one another try. Since I'm cleaning out some things, you know, we're going to have a little more room. These ColourPop ones, that screw off lid that I don't like. I'm going to keep both of these. I've said before in recent videos, I'm more into like the cream and liquid blush. So I think I'm going to pull these back to like the front of my drawer and try to use those a little more. The shades are okay. I picked the shades myself, but they looked different online. You know, they're just kind of this basic middle of the road. I don't know. These don't wow me. They're fine. So I'm going to keep them. Now, a lot of stuff here we're going to be getting rid of. Now, I pulled these back up onto the desk because as I'm looking at like the Laura Geller blushes and some of the other really glowy things in there, I don't think I'm going to reach for these over that. So I think I am going to go ahead and get rid of these Wet n Wild ones. The same with these Wet n Wild. These are like the old packaging. I thought about keeping these two, the matte ones. And the product inside is nice. But I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to put these two, the apricot in the middle and pearlescent pink. These are going to go. And I'm going to put these in the maybes. We'll see. Because this used to be my favorite blush of all time, like ever. I use this all the time. This is the second one I've had. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. I'm going to get rid of these LA Girl blushes. This one's like broken. I don't even want to open it. But it's kind of shattering around the edges. I bought it to use more like a contour, and I don't know. It's just a little rosy for that. So that one's going to go. And then I have the shade Just Natural. That was the shade Just Bare. This kind of reminds me of the Catrice Peachy Blush. So I'm going to put both of these back in the maybe pile. I really like, I'm finding I really like this little peach shade, like the light peach. But I know I have a lot of them, so I'm trying to not have 1,000 of the same thing. But I might keep these. I like the packaging of this LA Girl one. It feels substantial. Okay, I've got a couple of L'Oreal blushes and a couple of Butter blushes. The Butter blushes are going to go. I think both of them are going. This one doesn't show up on me at all. Like, there is no shade, there is no color. This is in Plum Rose. If I layer this up and layer it up, it sometimes will turn like this weird purpley color, but I can't tell if it's taking my makeup off or applying the blush. So that one's going to go. And this one, I just don't like the smell of these blushes. And that deters me from using them, so I'm getting rid of that. Now these smell like peach, but they don't really smell like peach. So this one is like broken and has massive hard pan in it. So that one's going to go. And I know it seems like I'm just getting rid of them because they're broken, but I mean, I have some really nice other things. So I'm not using the broken packaging over that. You know what I mean? It's broken because I've used it. So this one's going to go. And these two are really pretty shades. And this one's really glowy. And then this one's more of like a matte color. Maybe pile. I knew I would have trouble getting rid of my blush. I knew I would have trouble with the blushes. I love them. Another batch coming in. Now these are all e.l.f. blushes. Or I'm going to pull out my cream blushes as well. Okay, these are the rest of my blushes that aren't in like face palettes. So I'm keeping all of the e.l.f. blushes. I have some of the shimmer ones, some of the matte ones. This one actually is the Perpetually Tan bronzer. But it is way too warm on me. I kind of like it as just like a toasty blush. It reminds me of the Toasted Cinnamon shade from the Burt's Bees. So the formula of these, absolutely incredible. I love all of these. They're just so summery. Like in the summer, I reach for this pile of stuff. I store them like this, where they're kind of all lined up, and I just like randomly pick a blush. So I'm definitely keeping all of these e.l.f. ones there. Some of my favorites. Okay, here are my cream and liquid blushes. Not a lot to choose from here. I am keeping all of these Profusion blushes. I want to get the other two. These are absolutely beautiful. Some of my new favorite things. Absolutely stunning. And they have a funky little applicator and everything. But yeah, keeping these. And I would love to get the other two darker berry shades of this. Keeping, loving, amazing. These two Milani blushes, also amazing right now. I am loving these. I have Cherry, I Cherry-ish You, and You're a Peach. Definitely keeping those. This I dug out the other day, and I had the backup of it. After further investigation, I think they are the same shades. They didn't look like it now. But I'm excited to use this one again. I'm really excited for like these more cream type products. Keeping this. These blushes, I've not tried them again yet. Once I got my Profusion ones, I wanted to give these another shot to see how I like them now that I'm more familiar with the other liquid blushes. So I'm going to keep these for now. I might even try this today. I have no makeup on. So I might try these later today. And if they work, they work. If they don't, they're going into this declutter. So these are like on the chopping block right now. These are keeps, but usually they just take my makeup off. Using other products, you get more familiar with the formulas, and these were the first liquid blush I'd ever used. So I'm going to keep them. I'm going to try them, but these are, you know, on that line. Okay, we've pulled out the maybe pile here. We're going to go through this now that we've sorted through the rest of the blushes. I feel more confident getting rid of some of these. I think both of the Wet n Wild I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I love the blush itself, but I just don't feel like I need these anymore. I think both of these Zueva palettes are going to go. I love them. Like, the packaging is so pretty. But the formula inside is just okay. And I think it's more the colors for me that I don't love. Yeah, it's definitely the colors and then that highlighter formula. So these are going to go. It makes me sad. These are absolutely beautiful palettes. But the Strawberry Truffle, I think I'm going to get rid of as well. Again, the formula and that just neon pink is not my jam. Now, I feel like these are all exactly the same shade, looking at them overhead. I do think I want to keep this Milani one. I remember really, really liking this. I really liked this because I didn't love glowy blushes, but this was like the perfect amount with just like the slice of highlight in here. So I am going to keep this one and try this one again. I remember really liking it. I think I'm going to get rid of this Paradise blush. I don't know. It's just kind of that pearlescent. It almost looks like the Wet n Wild blush in pearlescent pink. Has that same kind of vibe. It can go. I don't know about these four. I don't know. I don't know why I want to keep them. Because looking at everything else, I'm not super drawn to these. I think I'm going to put these all in the go pile. Like, these are all going to go be decluttered. And when I go to organize my box of like declutter things, if I really want to take one of these out, I will. But I think for now, I can safely say goodbye to these products. So let's put back up here all the blushes we're getting rid of. This actually turned out to be a pretty big pile. Did much better than I was expecting. So I feel really good about this. I'm actually really, really surprised that I'm willing to part with this many of my blushes. I normally don't. And I guess I felt ready to do a declutter. My eyeshadows had kind of inspired me to do that, and my foundations had kind of inspired. You know, I was going through those products and being like, nope, 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 never going to use this. And apparently I also had my blushes too, you know, that mindset with. So I'm excited to be clearing out some of the space in here. And yeah, these 25 blushes are going to find a new home. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tune in next time for our bronzer declutter, and I will see you then. Bye.